Girl, I want to know your name. Can we talk for a minute? Yeah. Girl, I want to know your name. Woo! What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Junior's World of Soul. I am back with a new video. As you can see, I came in with the classic Can We Talk by Tevin Campbell. Now, you might be asking me why I came in with that song. Well, yesterday was his 42nd birthday. And I was just jamming to all my favorites from him. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to open the new video with a classic from him. Can We Talk, for real, is like one of the best songs that come out of the 90s, period. You know what I'm saying? This is really Tevin's staple record, you know what I'm saying? When you want to go to a classic from him, everybody definitely goes to Can We Talk, you know what I'm saying? And I definitely want to give respect because Tevin Campbell is one of my favorite male vocalists of all time. This boy sings. He was just so gifted, you know what I mean? And it was just like, really, before Usher, because it took Usher a minute to get through mainstream, you know what I'm saying? Because before then, it was like, Tevin was running it, you know what I'm saying? It was, you know, he started it off, and then, you know, that's when the Brandy and the Monica and the Leah and all of them came through, but he started it, you know what I mean? So definitely, I want to give him his respect, and let me tell you something, Tevin Campbell still got it, and let me tell you something, he came out of his pantry about 3 years ago. He walked out this door and walked on in and started singing Can We Talk and had the notes and all that. So that dude still got it. Give him his respect, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I wanted to, you know, definitely open the video with him. So happy birthday to Tevin Campbell, y'all. And can we talk for a minute? Well, y'all, I am back. I definitely want to shout out the new subscribers, yo. It's so crazy how I'm getting at least 2 new subscribers every week. It's going up. I'm just so thankful, you know, for you guys. But since you guys are new to Junior's World of Soul, or to the, you know, the ones that's been here from the beginning, you know, it's all about current R&B bangers. Now, again, if you're new to Junior's World of Soul, current R&B bangers really is just to prove mainstream wrong about how R&B is dying. It's really giving the masses the impression that, you know, R&B is not alive anymore and it's not here, you know what I'm saying? And right now, it's just R&B is really having such a hard time, you know, mainstream-wise. It's not getting the respect it deserves. So a lot of people are saying, oh, R&B is dying and it's not here, but that's not true. You know what I'm saying? So for me as an R&B lover, what I decided to do was create current R&B bangers so I can give signed and unsigned artists, you know, another platform. You know what I'm saying? Because R&B needs as many platforms as we can get. You know what I'm saying? To, you know, represent in the right way. Just not for clicks, you know, people that really love it. And we need platforms like this. So I felt like, you know, for me, every week I would get 4 to 6 bangers just to really prove to y'all that R&B is alive and well. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully after you guys hear them, you will definitely go support them by streaming. You know, streaming is it right now. I know it took me a minute to get on board with the streaming, but that's what it is. It's the streaming numbers, you know what I mean? That's what's really the thing. So hopefully you guys, after you finish, you know, listening to it, hearing the clips, you really go support it, you know what I'm saying? So this week I have 5 joints for y'all. I'm so excited to talk about these joints. So let's get it started. Starting with my girl, H.E.R. Yo, I feel like she is carrying the torch as far as the new school R&B. I definitely want to give her that title because they tried to give it to somebody else, but I'm not going to name that. But they tried it with that one. But H.E.R, she is just dope, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to R&B, she's so authentic with it, you know what I'm saying? And then she's able to connect to the current generation. That's what you want to do, you know what I mean? And she does it so gracefully, just so dope. And you know what's so crazy? I'm a little late on her. I'm not even gonna stunt. Everybody was talking about her, and I was so into the gimmick, and I was just like, oh, she ain't showing her face and all this. But Call Me Dollar, who used to be on Twitter, now he's on Instagram. Let Me Be Great. He finally put me on, and I was like, you know what? He talks about this girl, and he loves R&B just like I do. And I was like, let me check this girl out. And from that moment, I have been a fan of her. Now, I talked about her maybe about 3 videos ago because she just brought out an EP entitled I Used to Know Her, The Prelude. And which I am still playing now. The joint is still hot. And it was one song that I knew when I heard it. Like, the whole album bangs, but this joint was it. And I talked about this joint. It was called As I Am, and it's such a banger. And if you've been under a rock and you haven't heard it, it goes a little something like this. So here we go. Be a fool and not take me as I am. Tell me I'm the best I am. I be feeling like yes I am. Yeah. Tell me I'm the best I am. Be a fool and not take me as I am. Come on, y'all. Y'all can't tell me that joint ain't fire right there. Like, that joint is sick. You know what I'm saying? The beat knocks, it's hard, and like, what I like, it has that knock, but it's so soulful, but it's still current. Like, you can still vibe to it, and that's what I really loved about the record. So I talked about that. I was going crazy in the video, like I just went crazy. I was going nuts, and I really, really liked the joint. And like I said, the prelude is dope. Definitely check it out. It's on all your streaming platforms. But last week, she released part 2. Now, this girl is very consistent, and I like that because in the era that we're in, you got to keep, the audience. You got to keep them because it's so quick for people to go somewhere else if you're not just giving them music. So she came out with part 2. Now, this one, it's a little bit more acoustic. It's a little bit more artistic, and it's really more of her showing her artistic side as far as her vocals and her using the guitar, but it's still soulful. You know what I'm saying? And I think, the prelude, it was just her, it just had a vibe to it. And just like part 2, it has a vibe just as well. But I just think that this one is a little bit more artistic to me. It's really showing her as an artist, you know what I mean? But again, like I said, it's so soulful. But the opening track, Carry Away, is a knocker, and I was like, yo, I wanted to talk about it. So the first joint on Current R&B Bangers this week is Carried Away by H.E.R, and this joint is dope. It has a knock to it, but she's still using that guitar. So here we go. Hey, bring it back, like. Smooth little joint, you know what I'm saying? But it still have that knocker to it. I was about to mess up on that part because I thought it was going to come into the chorus again. That's why you heard me say bring it back. But it's all good, you know what I'm saying? But it's still a dope joint, and it's very artistic, and that's what I really, really love about the song. Like, the whole album is just dope, you know what I'm saying? She got some ballads on here that really kind of touch home. You know what I'm saying? Like, it touches your emotions. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, again, artistically, this joint is dope. Definitely check it out. You know what I'm saying? This girl is the truth. I think she is the person that's kind of carrying that R&B torch with her. You know what I'm saying? And I love that she's embracing everybody as far as LMA. She got my boy Tone Snip on tour with her right now. Like, I think that's dope. She you know, she's embracing everybody. And that's what you do, you know what I'm saying? I think she's just so dope. And she understands that R&B can be so powerful if everybody just get together and just be like, look, we're one unit. We got to represent R&B the right way, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not getting respected. And she like, hey, Ella Mai got a banging joint with Booed Up and Trippin'. And she's kind of, everybody's looking at her as, you know, the new face of R&B. But, you know, then you got, you know, Tone, that's great. And, you know, a lot of other people that she's definitely looking at, you know what I'm saying? Let's get together so we can show that R&B is dope. So y'all, her Carried Away, first joint on current R&B bangers, but again, check out both of her EPs, the I Used to Know Her, the Prelude, and Part 2. I just love talking about her. I think she's so dope. I'm so mad that I got on her late, but like my brother Sensei, better late than never. Alrighty, so the next is coming from an R&B legend, R&B icon. I am talking about the B to the R to the A to the N-D-Y. Yeah. I'm talking about Brandy. Now, when it comes to music, like Brandy hasn't really released a full album since 2011, and you know she's been giving us, you know, songs. You know what I'm saying, kind of keeping us, you know, she's keeping us there musically. You know what I'm saying, and I think that's dope. But in 2006, she gave us Begging and Pleading. I talked about it on Current R&B Bangers. It's so crazy. It was like one of the first songs that I talked about on Current R&B Bangers back in 2016 when I started this. And I went crazy. I was like, Brandy, that song was, the oil was all over that record. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was just so dope, and I wore it out. You know what I'm saying? Because what I liked about the record was it was very bluesy, it was very soulful, but it still had a current kick to it, and that's what I liked about it. You know what I'm saying? But then we all know that Brandy had some problems with the record label, and she was having all these problems, you know, politic-wise, you know, and all that good stuff. So I think she's on a label now, which I think is great. She's telling us that she's in the studio. You know, she's finishing up the album. I know she had a couple of her fans going listening to the album, listen to songs, and things like that. I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? I am a fan of Brandy. I've been a fan since '94, and I'm just, you know, I'm waiting on another album because, you know, the last two albums that Brandy did, 2011, she kind of said she did songs that she didn't feel was right. She just did it because she thought it was going to be a hit. Human, which I love to death. I love the Human album. A lot of people don't. I like the emotion of it. But Brandy just said screw that album because she feel like Rodney Jerkins didn't give her best. So really, after Aphrodisiac, I think Brandy hasn't had an album that she actually been happy with. So to see that she's working on an album that she's happy with, I think that's so great. So I just can't wait to see what she's gonna give us. But what I can say is Miss Norwood is on that, you know, the hit TV show Star, and she's acting her behind off. Now, I don't watch the show, you know what I'm saying? But I just see the clips online, and I'm like, you know what? Brandy can act. That's just what it is. But the clips I'm seeing, I'm like, yo, Brandy is going off. You hear me? But the cast, they just released a soundtrack with songs from the show. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I'm like, well, when I heard, I was like, well, can we get a song with Luke and Brandy? Because I'm telling y'all, the stuff that they be doing when they behind the scenes and we be seeing these clips of Brandy and Luke James singing in the studio and, you know, and they trailers and all that, I'll be like, can we get a song? Like, can we really get a duet like Luke and Brandy? Can we get a duet? I don't care who album is on. Brandy, it can be on your next one. Luke, it can be on yours. I just don't care. Can we get a duet? Because y'all be killing it, for real. But, you know, she released this new song. It's entitled All I Need. The interns, blessed be rocking with this one. If this is kind of the flavor that we're going to get for this new Brandy album, I'm here for it. I really like the joint. I think Brandy is in her element. This is what she's supposed, you know, type of sound and type of singing Brandy's supposed to be doing. And I like it, and I think it's great. So I wanted to talk about it on the show. So this is the second joint from Current R&B Bangers. This is entitled All I Need, and this is from Brandy. So here we go. Come on. All that I need, all that I want. It's a little smooth little joint, you know what I'm saying? And it just and it displays Brandy's vocals. You know what I'm saying? And that's what everybody loved her for. You know what I'm saying? And Brandy also had the joints that knock. And this joint does have a knocker, you know what I'm saying? And what I liked about the joint for real, it's smooth. You know what I'm saying? It's smooth. Brandy feels very free on it, and that's what I enjoyed about the record. I think it's very freeing. And you know what I'm saying, Brandy, if you do see this, it's been too long. We need this album, girl. I'm waiting for this album. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to, you know, still go to the store and buy it and also stream it. You know what I'm saying? But if, you know, I can wait a little longer with this All I Need, because it's a beautiful, beautiful record, and the video is dope as well. So, y'all, All I Need is on all streaming platforms. She got the video out. I'm going to put that in the more info box. Please, Brandy, can we get this album? So, that's the number 2 joint on Current R&B Bangers. That is All I Need from Brandy. All right, so the next artist, this is crazy, because I know, and I've been rocking with this artist since 2007. And I never talked about her on the show. I don't know why, because she had an album out in 2016. I don't know why I didn't talk about her. I'm talking about Emily King. Now, when I was introduced to her in 2007 with her East Side Story, that joint was my joint. Walking in My Shoes, Colorblind, It Was You. It Was You is my joint. Like, she is just dope. You know what I'm saying? And then in 2016, she released her album Switch. Let me tell you something. Distance, Believer, Already There, Out in the Clouds. Now, let's talk about Out in the Clouds for a second. Let me tell you something. Emily King is soulful, and this girl is just soulful, and it's in her, and she's just gifted. You know what I'm saying? But what I really love about her and her sound is those background vocals. Let me tell you something. Amy gives you background vocals. That's like, and y'all know as much, you know, if you're new, but all the old heads know that I love background vocals. That is a thing for me. It makes a song for me. Like, I want to hear what the background vocals sound like, especially if it's a ballad. Like, and if you do your own background vocals, that's great. You know what I'm saying? Because some people can do their own background vocals and sound horrible. But let me tell you something. Amy does hers. Out the Clouds. Those background vocals are amazing. I was at work today just vibing out to The Distance. And anytime it gets to that song, I am like, it takes me, I'm like literally on a cloud because of those powerful background vocals. Like, I love it, y'all. And y'all really need to check Emily out. I call her Amy. Emily out. Like, really, she is just dope. I am a fan. I wish she will be bigger than what she is. But, you know, I feel like they kind of put her in the category with Joss Stone. You know, because I feel like Joss Stone's vocals is amazing, but she's so soulful that it's like they kind of put her in a box, and I think that's what they're doing with Emily, and I just don't like it because I think she's dope. But y'all, check out East Side Story and check out The Distance. She is dope. But Amy has a new joint, and like I said, this girl is just soulful, and she's blues and all that, and she just can't help it. It's just in her. And this song, Look at Me Now, is no different. And I had to talk about it. This is the third joint on Current R&B Bangers. It's titled Look at Me Now, and this is by Emily King. Just listen to it. It's just amazing, people. So here we go.
Did you hear about me? I got off the ground. I stood up when you look at baby, look at me now.
Bring it. Come on. Woo!
Did you hear about me? I'm making it name. I got
Look at me now. Look at me now. Woo! Oh my God. Listen, y'all. If YouTube wasn't stupid like that, y'all, I'd be playing the whole joint. And I'd have been vibing. Like, for real. That's how dope. It's so soulful. It gives me the 60s vibe. You know what I'm saying? But it still got that knock under it. And that's what I like about it. Like, you can be old school, but have a current knock to it. And this song has it. And the soul isn't taken away. And that's what I really, really love about this joint. Like, I need to go to one of her live concerts, like, for real. My brother Mark just went last night, and he said it was amazing, as usual. She needs to come to Baltimore, because then I need to go to that, so I could just yell when the background vocals come in. So I can just scream, because I'm here for background vocals, and she gives it. You know what I'm saying? But Look at Me Now is on all streaming platforms. No, not Chris Brown. Look at Me Now, Emily King. It's her. But listen, it's all on streaming platforms. Please, please, y'all support this record, because this girl can sing, and she's dope, and she needs to be bigger than what she is. So the third joint of current R&B bangers is coming from Emily King, and that is Look at Me Now. I get so passionate when I really love soul, and Emily just gives me that soul, and she's just so dope. So please, y'all, please support her. All right, so the next artist I found on Spotify. So, like I was saying in the beginning, y'all know it took me a minute to get down with streaming, but finally I did, because I'm like, this is the new age. You just got to get with it. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you can be old school, but you got to find a way to get with the streaming. And, you know, I'm streaming. I'm on Spotify. I'm on Spotify, even though I got an Apple phone. Ain't that crazy? But I'm on Spotify. But I was looking up, you know, I clicked into the R&B section, wanted to see, you know, what they had under there, and I liked that it was really R&B, you know, because the way mainstream has it now, you don't even know the difference between R&B and hip hop, and Spotify had R&B, so I was going under, and I was like, okay, people are actually singing. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, I don't see nobody doing no mumble rap, because that's not R&B to me. You know what I mean? But I found this artist. His name is Lucky Daye, and he has a dope EP. And he was born in New Orleans, and he was raised in L.A., and he was influenced by Prince and Rick James and Lauren and Stevie. And you will see when you listen to his EP, you're going to definitely tell those are definitely big influences from him. But what I really liked about Lucky Daye is his story. That's one thing I think how we really connect to an artist is their story. You know what I mean? Everybody has a backstory when you get into music. You know what I'm saying? And he has one. And he was actually born into a cult when he was like 8 years old. And, you know, finally, when he realized that it wasn't for him and he had to kind of find his own thing, you know what I'm saying? It was just like he put it into his music, and he started catching up on music that he wasn't allowed to listen to. That's why he was able to listen to, you know, like Blackstreet and Prince and Stevie Wonder and all these type. And he got so many influences, because even before then, when he was banned from, you know, this type of music, you know, he said he will make melodies just, you know, out of his kid books. He will make melodies and things like that. So it was always in him. And, you know, he said, you know, when he got older, he realized this thing wasn't for him, and he missed out a lot. You know what I mean? And he put it all into his music. You know what I mean? And he realized that his mind was trapped. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, for him to do what he had to do, he had to be completely stripped of everything. No money, no support, anything. He just had to strip everything. And he had to get a new perspective on life. You know what I'm saying? And what's so crazy, it's not funny, but he said, listen, I got high, and everything musically just started coming. And he said that's how his current single, Roll Some More, really came to life, because he was like, you know, he was, you know, high, and really musically things was coming out, and it was just a good thing. You know what I mean? So I really, really, you know, just to hear his story, to see where he came from, you really have a connection because it's like, wow, you know, real life is there, real depth is there. You know what I mean? So after, you know, me, you know, really finding out his story and all that, I listened to his EP and I really enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely all his influences in there, but it's also current. You know what I'm saying? You can't be too old school, especially in this era. You got to be a little current. You got to connect. And, you know, he definitely has some joints on there. But, you know, the one that did it for me was Extra. And Extra's the one for me. And I think that one needs to be a single. It's dope. It has a vibe, and I really liked it, so I wanted to talk about it on the show. So the fourth joint on Current R&B Bangers is entitled Extra, and this is by Lucky Daye. So here we go. You can hear that funkiness, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's funky. So you can definitely hear that Rick James. You can hear that Prince. You can hear that Stevie. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can definitely hear it. But this joint is such a bop. Like, when you hear it, you got to move. Like, I was like, okay, this joint, a nice little video with this joint. Man, this song can be huge. So I like it. You know what I'm saying? What I definitely like about Lucky Daye is the fact that it sounds, it's an old school sound, but he's creating his own in it. If you get what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? You could definitely, you know, borrow a sound, and I'm not saying he's borrowing a sound, but it can sound, like I said, like a Rick James or a Prince, you know what I'm saying? But he made his own with it, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's dope, and I'm so waiting for when he comes for this full album. But I know he was saying in an interview that it's going to be a part 2 to this. So I'm ready, you know what I'm saying? I love, you know, finding out about somebody from the beginning and see where they go artistically. And finally, when they come out with the album, I'm so ready, you know what I'm saying? Because I like his sound, and I think it's dope. So definitely, you guys, definitely check out Lucky Daye's. His album, his EP is entitled I. It's on all streaming platforms. Check him out, yo. He's really, really dope. And I'm going to put one of the interviews that I listened to when he was telling the story, and I'll put it in the more info box. So this joint is entitled Extra, and that's by Lucky Daye. Alrighty, now the last artist is an artist that I talked about in 2017, and I'm talking about Jacob Blanks. Now, I was introduced to him by his EP, The Boy Who Cried Freedom. Now, he was originally born in Nigeria, but then he moved to the UK, and he really has a really soulful vibe. And that's what really caught me to him. And the first song that I was introduced to him by was Chainsmoking. And it's definitely one of those type of records. And I thought it was dope. And I talked about it on the show. And I'll give y'all a little sample. So here is Chainsmoking. So here we go. Chainsmoking alone. Woo! He got that type of vibe, you know what I'm saying? That was his vibe. And, you know, and this joint still knocks. Like, it still just have that knock to it. And it's like it's not preaching, but it feels that way in this joint. It's like you ready to march, you know what I'm saying, for equality and freedom and all that, you know what I'm saying? So his EP that I was saying, The Boy Who Cried Freedom, I also talked about another joint. It was called Unholy War. That song, it was, like I said, it has a very, how can I say it? A very social type of, how can I say it? It has a very soulful undertone. And, you know, what I really love about him and his vibe, he gives me a Gamble and Huff type of vibe, with what they did with the OJs, with Ship Ahoy, and that type of, you know, that's the vibe that he gives me. You know what I mean? So after following him, he finally released his album. He entitled it Village. And I listened to the whole thing, and like I said, it gives me the Gamble and Huff. It gave me, you know, that type of vibe of what he gave Harold Melvin, the Blue Notes, and the OJs, and that type of, you know, that type of social conscious vibe. And, you know, that's kind of what I get from him. But when I listened to this joint, it was track 2. And at first I was like, yo, this joint need to be a single. But it's crazy because the song has been out a month. And I didn't know it. You know what I'm saying? It's been out a month. But this song is dope. It's entitled Love Ain't Enough. And again, it has that knock, but it definitely still has that Jacob Blanks vibe. And if you've been a fan of him, you know what that vibe is. It's kind of like Chainsmoking, but it still has a knock to it. So I wanted to talk about it. So here is Love Ain't Enough. And it goes a little something like this. Here we go. That joint knocks, man. That joint knocks. And this actually, if you listen to the whole song, and like I said, it gave me the OJ Ship Ahoy. That actually song, if you listen to the song, it really, that type of production is what I got with Love Is Enough. Like, the song is dope. And like I said, it has a rock edge to it, and it has a knock under it. You know what I'm saying? It's just dope. You know what I mean? It kind of, you know, it was crazy. I was watching this Janet interview that she did with the Janet album, and she was talking about and she was talking about this time, and she was just like, you know, these songs have kind of like a rock edge to it, but it still got like a knock to it. And that's what I got when I was listening to Love Is Enough. I kind of got what Janet was saying about, you know, having a rock edge, but still having that beat to it. It just had that beat to it that's still gonna make you move. You know what I mean? So that's what I got with Love Is Enough. But you guys definitely check out Jacob's new album entitled Village. It's soulful as heck. It's very soulful. Like I said, it definitely has a social conscience undertones under it. The song Witness really, really touched me for real. That's a favorite of mine because it really touches the heart, and it's definitely a spiritual thing. So definitely check it out. Village is on all streaming platforms. You know, I will put Jacob's information in the more info box, but definitely check him out. But that's the last joint of current R&B bangers. That is Love Ain't Enough from Jacob Banks. Well, that's it for this week, y'all. Those are your 5 bangers this week. It's coming from H.E.R with Carried Away, Brandy with All I Need, Emily King with Look at Me Now, Lucky Daye with Extra, and Jacob Blanks with Love Ain't Enough. I gave y'all a lot of soul this week, and that's why I really enjoy talking about it. And like, I love every current R&B bangers because I just want to give, you know, good R&B music a platform. But this week it was just something very soulful about this list. You know what I'm saying? All these songs were so soulful, but it still had knocks to it that I feel like this generation could definitely connect to. You know what I'm saying? But it's so crazy. Like I said, it bothers me that we can't have a balance these days when it comes to R&B. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know, and that's why everybody think that R&B and hip hop is the same thing these days. And yes, you know, in 1992, my favorite artist, Miss Mary J. Blige, kind of made it commercial to put R&B and hip hop together, but you could still tell the difference. You know what I'm saying? Now you can't. You know what I'm saying? And that's really, really the problem. But it's like, you know, hip hop is great. It's like, to me, this era is making R&B seem like a culture of hip hop. But it's kind of backwards, because if it wasn't for R&B, there would really be no hip hop. And that's just the truth. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. And I'm like, there's a difference between the two. And we always was able to, you know, you was always able to see that and tell, but now these days you can't. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, R&B is much a part of a culture, as a culture to hip hop, as hip hop to R&B. But at the end of the day, there's a difference. And right now, mainstream is not even showing that. You know what I mean? And that's really a big, big problem when it comes to R&B. And that's why it's kind of like real R&B is really getting swept under the rug, and that's not really cool. But as y'all saw, I proved that R&B is alive and well. I hope you guys really, really support these songs. Streaming is important, you guys. Like, yes, you can go and buy the albums and go out and buy them, you know, in the stores. But listen, streaming is it. We need to just show these companies that streaming these songs and R&B can still is a moneymaker. You know what I mean? And that's what all I'm trying to prove with current R&B bangers. But I want to thank y'all for rocking with me this week. You know what I'm saying? I kept y'all a little longer than normal. I try to keep y'all under 30 minutes, but you know, this week it was a lot of soul going on. So, you know, I was just rambling on, but you know, it's all good. Hopefully I will definitely see you guys back next week for another current R&B bangers. And like I said, I kept y'all long enough, and y'all know me. Once I opened with the classic, I was like, I gotta leave with a classic. And I was listening to Evelyn Champagne King at work today, and I said, why not end with this? So we gonna end with this, and I hopefully see y'all next week. Let's go, Evelyn. Love to me tonight. Bring it back. I don't know if I do. You're no good. I'm out, y'all. Peace.